October 19th, it's a Thursday, 2017, and my name is Bill McCamley. I'm a state representative from Las Cruces and Mesilla here in New Mexico with your legislative update for the day. I am up here in Santa Fe. I want to talk to you about a couple of things. The first thing is today we had a meeting of our Investment and Pensions Oversight Committee, and a couple of things happened. First, there's some issues with the State Investment Council. For those of you that don't know what it is, this is the group of people that is in charge of making decisions about $23 billion in New Mexicans' money through four what we call permanent funds. The biggest one's a land grant permanent fund. There's a severance tax fund. There's a tobacco fund, and I can't remember what the other one is on the top of my head, but all in, that's $23 billion of New Mexicans' money. It's the second or third highest one in the country. I think Alaska and Texas might be ahead of us. Now, there's been issues with the board of directors from that. So back 8-10 years ago, there was a lot of funny business going on where politics was determining how that money was being invested. There were some changes made to the board, but we've been finding out over the past couple months that there are some problems going on. So what happened was 4 members of the current board, the state treasurer, Tim Eichenberg, who's a Democrat, the state land commissioner, Aubrey Dunn, who's a Republican, and 2 ex-senators, Lee Rawson from Las Cruces and Tim Jennings from Roswell, Democrat-Republicans. So 2 Democrats and 2 Republicans have refused to sign a new code of conduct for many reasons, but the one that I brought up today in the meeting was because I'm not actually kidding. This code of conduct requires all these people on this board to pledge undying loyalty, that's a direct quote, to growing the fund. Now, this is a problem for a couple reasons. First off, if we invest some of that money, and this is what this came up, there was a separate presentation about investing some of that money in New Mexico businesses rather than, say, the stock market. What that does is it hopefully grows more jobs, but it doesn't give the state the return on investment that, at least right now, investing in the stock market does. So if you sign that pledge, are you then saying, hey, look, we can't invest any of that money in our own businesses? We have to send it off all to Wall Street? I think that's a real big issue. Secondly, the whole early childhood thing comes up. Now, this has been a political hot topic here in New Mexico for the last few years. I won't lie. I am very for using some of the returns on that investment to invest in early childhood. When you look at really good early childhood programs, you get anywhere between a 10 and 13% rate of return because you're not spending money on jails long term. You're not spending as much money on like Medicaid and other social services. You're doing better in terms of jobs because you have a better educated public. So if someone like me were, for instance, ever appointed to that board and they didn't sign that loyalty pledge, what would happen? So those people haven't been able to participate in closed door meetings where legal matters, like some of the lawsuits from all the funny business happened 8-10 years ago, and the employment of the current group of people that run and make all the decisions for the State Investment Council happen. So this is a real issue, and it got brought up today. On a side note, it was funny, as I was asking the State Investment Officer about this, he kind of got emotional and got angry, and I was the one who wasn't like that, and that usually doesn't happen. It's usually the other way around. We did hear from the Educational Retirement Board, which is a separate big pension fund with billions of dollars. Teachers put money into that fund over time so they can then retire and have some pension out of it. And they did a really good job of actually saying why they're moving towards passive accounts where they don't actively, pick and choose what's going on. They don't pay someone to do that. They just invest in big accounts and moving some of their management inside of what they do. They said they saved billions and actually, or not billions, they saved a lot of money and made more money in return. And that's what we want to keep these things healthy. So I was really glad to hear that. Lastly, I was in Farmington yesterday for a jobs tour that we've been kind of doing around the state for the past year. And it was really fascinating talking to people about what's going on. So Farmington's in really bad shape. They're completely tied to coal and natural gas for their economy. From what I understand, over the past few years, they've had the largest out-migration in the country, more people moving away because coal jobs are going away and natural gas prices have been low. And this is going to be a problem as we move forward with the state. I think there's a lot of people like me that want to fight climate change and want to move over to more green economy. Furthermore, with more electric cars coming out, with storage coming online, demand for natural gas isn't really expected to go up very much, and coal's just out no matter what happens at the federal level. So How do you replace those people that were working $75,000, $80,000 a year jobs? That's a real question. How do you replace tax revenue for governments like the city of Farmington that need to pay for cops and firefighters and all those sorts of things? And then there's a cultural question. There was one guy who said, I was from here, or my parents are from here, I'm from here, I raised my kids here, we're all in the oil and gas business, there's nothing wrong with it. And if that's something people have known all their lives, there's an attachment to it. I'm trying to save it even though this other stuff's happening. So this is going to be it's a big issue in Farmington. It's going to kind of be a global issue for the state as we move forward. It was interesting. Anyways, thank you very much, as always, for watching this. If you have questions, comments, or concerns on these or any of the issues, I'd love to hear from you. Thanks a lot. Hope everyone's doing well. Bye.